Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors, including real fishing and hunting situations involving wildlife. We do our best each week to bring you tasteful content, but viewer discretion is advised. Now, enjoy the show.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This week, we catch up with Nanticoke Outfitters for some duck dog training. We'll check out the new service department at Gateway Subaru. We'll meet a muskrat trapping legend in Scorchy's Corner. And we'll look back at this year's Polar Bear Plunge for Special Olympics Delaware. Outdoors Delmarva starts right now.
Welcome to Outdoors Delmarva, the show dedicated to a commitment of conservation and to the community that makes Delmarva's outdoors such a hidden gem here in the Mid-Atlantic. My name is Jason Lee, and this weekend marks the 104th anniversary of President Woodrow Wilson declaring the Grand Canyon a national park. Now, I won't go too much further into it because the Grand Canyon is a rather deep subject.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here's Jason Lee.
Hunting is always better with a friend. And when it comes to waterfowl hunting, the best hunting buddies have 4 legs and a tail.
Yeah, so as an avid waterfowler, I've always had hunting dogs, grew up with hunting dogs, grew up with my father training our hunting dogs. And then when I became an adult, I started getting my own hunting dogs. And it's just something that as a waterfowler, once you own a good duck dog, it's an addiction, and it's art. It's something that we become very passionate about, to the point that I enjoy working my dog just as much, if not more, as I do the actual hunting of the ducks. Just being able to have the dog do the retrieves and to execute the things that we train for and we practice, and you know, as you can see from the ribbons on the wall, we do a lot of hunt testing, and we're out there and we travel up and down the East Coast doing that so that we have top-notch hunting dogs. And then as a result of that, we want to breed them. And we want to be able to share that with our customers. So we want our customers to be able to come out and have that experience with one of our dogs, enjoy that experience with that dog, and say, you know, I'd like to have a dog just like that. And then at some point we will have a litter, and they'll be able to do that, to buy one of our puppies. And then we're partnered with another company, a good friend of mine, Dave Alders at Barron Creek Labs. He does the training. So we'll help our customers connect with Dave, and I help Dave with the training, only because I can't do that full time as well as do everything else, but Dave does. He does work the dogs. So it's a nice little setup that we have for our customers.
Again, this is like what we call like a field check, right? After we spend, you know, time out in the field, or yard work is what we call it. We come out here and put them to the test, right? We're going to simulate shooting a duck here, shooting a duck here, and we're going to simulate having 2 birds down that the dog never saw when they fell.
So when you're training a dog brand new,
right?
How often are you out here with the dog?
So a brand new dog, we spend time on the fundamentals, right? And the fundamentals are the obedience factor, right? The dog's got to be able to, you know, come to you, sit, and heel. Hear, sit, and heel. Those are the 3 basics, right? Until the dog gets that down and get him conditioned to pressure, meaning that the ability to help the dog make a decision, right? The right decision. And we only introduce that after we know that they know it, a known command.
I encourage you to check out NanticokeOutfitters.com, or better still, meet David and the gang at the Outdoors Delmarva Expo coming to the Delaware State Fair in Harrington on Saturday, April 22nd. We'll talk about that more later on in the show. Still to come, we'll head back to Scorchy's Corner to be introduced to a legend in the muskrat trapping world. But up next, we're kicking the tires at Gateway Subaru in Delmar. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva. Our friends at Gateway Subaru asked us to stop by and take a look at their new service department. And it was so nice that we had to share it with you. Well, we're back here once again at Gateway Subaru, and I'm standing here with my buddy Kyle. And Kyle, we are here in this beautiful service shop that you guys have added onto the building. This is pretty nice.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it was all made possible by all of our clients. In the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years or so, Subaru's really taken off. And our service department got so busy, we were, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, sometimes having to turn work away because we just couldn't handle it. We didn't have the capacity. And now with this expansion, we have 12 new bays that we can handle cars in. We have a brand new state-of-the-art inside climate-controlled detail bay with a wet area, a dry area. We're talking about now taking on outside details, where before we could only do cars that we were putting on the lot, or customers' cars, getting them cleaned up for purchase. But now we're talking about advertising for full details for outside clients, just to expand, the business and the Gateway brand in general.
You hear it all the time, service after the sale, and it doesn't really mean a whole lot if you can't actually provide good service after the sale.
That's very true. And one of the final things I always tell my clients after they purchase a car is your relationship with us does not end here. Your relationship starts with us, because we look forward to answering questions. We look forward to servicing the cars. We look forward to saying hi and catching up with our customers when they are in for service.
So if you've got a Subaru, there's no reason not to get your vehicle serviced right here at Gateway. Now, there's something else that I've been wanting to talk to you about. Let's talk socks.
Very good, and not my socks, right?
No, not your socks, although your footwear is very fashionable, as it usually is.
So we're doing a drive, sock drive this month for the local homeless shelter. And it does not matter if you're purchasing a car, it doesn't matter if you're getting your car serviced, as long as it is a pack of fresh, brand new socks. It can't be used socks. It can't be previously worn. It has to be unopened socks. But we've already taken an entire box to the homeless shelter, and this isn't something that we decided to do on a whim. We work with the local homeless shelter every single year. We work with them all year long. This year they specifically requested socks because from what they're telling us, that's the one thing that a lot of these unfortunate people really need and want is the socks. In the past it's been blankets. This year it's socks. So we're doing what we can to give back to them and what we can to help, just like we do with everything else in the community.
Right. Absolutely. So if you're going to be out and about, pick up a package of socks and just drop it off here. Somebody is going to be very appreciative of that. Kyle, thank you very much for your time, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it as always.
Delmarva companies like Gateway Subaru, who make Delmarva a better place to live, will always have a special place in our hearts and on this show. Still to come, we look back at the Special Olympics Delaware Polar Bear Plunge in Rehoboth, but up next, we head back to Scorchy's Corner to check out a muskrat trapping legend. Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. We'll be right back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Shorts Marine.
Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva. Now, love them or hate them, there's no denying the impact or cultural significance of the marsh rabbit here on Delmarva. Oh, what's the marsh rabbit? Well, you might know it by its other, more common name, the muskrat.
Honoring the life and legacy of Scorchy Taws, thanks to Shorts Marine in Long Neck, Delaware. Shorts Marine, everything but the water.
Shriver Mills of Golden Hill is a muskrat trapper. Some say he's one of the best who ever walked a trap line in the marshes of South Dorchester, and is certainly one of, if not the oldest.
I was 11 years old when I first started.
Now 75, Shriver Mills is a rare and wonderful character. Wiry as a gymnast, agile as a cat. a man who's never missed a year rooting out rats since the day he first began.
I look forward every year to go do it.
Does it bother you any walking these marshes?
No, sir. I can walk 8-9 hours a day. My legs is not even tired.
Shriver Mills is one lean muskrat machine. In his lifetime, he has caught enough muskrats to furnish fur coat fashion shows for several eons, and enough meat from them to feed the multitudes of marsh rabbit connoisseurs who have gathered in church halls since the days of the Puritans.
One year, I caught 3,300 by myself and skinned them, me and my wife, and sold them in the house.
This year, Shriver took on Dwayne Paul as a partner.
He wanted to go with me, so I told him, I said, we got to have around 1,000 traps. That's what I told him. He said, that man told me, he said, 150 is all you can tend to. I said, well, when I started the boy, I had 500 by myself.
At times, that many traps can produce a lot of muskrats.
I don't have no trouble getting rid of them. People come to ask me, said, well, how much is your rats? I said, I'm going to charge $2 for the meats, and I ain't going to lift the price, and I ain't going to lower it. And I never leave the house for to sell none. They come right down and pick them up.
Trapping is a tradition as well as an integral part of the Mills family heritage. Shriver has hopes it will continue.
I had 2 girls, but I hope to live long enough that my grandsons, I have 2 grandsons, that maybe one of them will get to do it. Yes, sir.
As a lad of 11, Shriver Mills fell in love with mushy marshes, frosty mornings, the crunch of hip boots on thin ice, and muskratting. And 64 years later, as each day of walking his trap line comes to an end, he is already dreaming of tomorrow. Scorchy Toys, wandering our Delmarvelous land for WBOC News.
Remembering Scorchy Taws is presented by Shorts Marine, online at shortsmarine.com.
Did you know Labrador Retrievers are nearly waterproof thanks to their double coat? You probably did. But did you know that Labs actually have webbing between their toes to help them swim, as they were originally bred to help fishermen? Now you do.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back. You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva. Now, we've had a few weeks to thaw out, so we thought that we'd look back at the 2023 Special Olympics Delaware Polar Bear Plunge.
Once again, good afternoon, Polar Bears. Who's plunging today?
Okay there, Busby, here we are. This is actually a really nice day.
You know what, it's perfect. It's going to be the 4th warmest plunge in the air temperature goes. We're scheduled, it says 48 degrees at 1 o'clock, may even end up being warmer than that. The water's only 42, and I say only 42 because that's the 2nd warmest ever. 43 is the warmest it's ever been, so perfect day to plunge.
And it looks like everybody's having a great time.
They are, 11 o'clock, it was as packed as it is now. We were amazed that the boardwalk was as packed as it was, because it was still cold. It's a warm plunge, but it's still cold outside. We think it was so cold yesterday that a lot of people were kind of stuck inside, and so they couldn't wait to get out here this morning, so this has been great.
You've got money being raised left and right today, I've heard.
Yeah, absolutely. We're hoping to go over $1 million for the 3rd time, 2nd year in a row, and we're just excited about the outpouring of support. We, of course, have Urban Phyllis Levin matching dollar for dollar every donation that's made to them here on the boardwalk. And so, the amount of money that people are able to raise is phenomenal. People are saying, this is hard times for a lot of people. And it just goes to show you how much they believe in the cause. More than 4,000 athletes who get to compete, train, and it's completely free to them. And we're the only state in the country that can say that.
We are getting ready to jump into what I was just told, 42-degree water.
Right.
The 2nd warmest.
Yes, you're lucky.
What I was told.
Absolutely. The 2nd warmest plunge, I think last year was one of the 2nd coldest ones. So you're lucking out. 42 in the water, 48 in the air. Now, ideally, you want both to be about the same, because then it's seamless.
and seamless is what I'm all about today. Now, I was told that we got to have a buddy system in place.
Yes, you do, because we've never lost anyone, so that's a plus. But especially for you first timers, might need a little hand holding.
All right. Do you recommend a buddy for me?
Sure. Who do you want? You want me?
I'm thinking that, if I'm going to go with somebody, it should be somebody who's experienced in this sort of thing.
Well, this is my 17th plunge, and I'm still stupid enough to keep coming back every year. I'm not quite sure how this works.
I don't think that stupid's the word I would use for it. I would say it's courageous and charitable and dedicated. That's the words that I would describe this.
Let's go with that. That sounds really good. That's what it is, courageous.
All right, so we're down to just over a half an hour before we jump in there. How would you rate this crowd today compared to other plunges that you've done?
Well, it's a great crowd because over the past few years, because of the pandemic, it's been much lighter. So this is more back to pre-pandemic levels. You hear that all the time. But it's great. The crowd is into it. We usually have around 3,000 people jumping in. I think we're going to have a record over that this year.
I can't feel anything actually. Oh, that is so cold. Second warmest. Oh, second warmest is gonna be great. That's ridiculous.
Hey, no problem.
No, I'm fine. Woo! I will say though that the water being colder than the air temperature, it feels better out here.
Yes. You want to go back?
No. Next year, maybe. So there you go. That's one is done.
Congratulations.
So 17 for you.
17. You got more to go. Here's next year.
I like to say pass the torch, but at this point, I'll take any fire torch.
Any fire torch.
But thank you. That was fun. Well done, everybody.
Not gonna lie. Got a little bit of a chill just watching that again, but I don't believe that the Atlantic Ocean in February has seen the last of me. Coming up after the break, we'll wrap up the show with your latest viewer photos and give you some information about the Outdoors Delmarva Expo coming your way in April. Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, returns right after this.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Welcome back to Outdoors Delmarva. It's time to flip through the photo album and take a look at your latest pictures, thanks to our friends at North Bay Marina.
7-year-old Joseph Dayton of Seaford shows off this impressive raccoon harvest. If you missed it this past week, Jupiter, Venus, and the Moon hung in the night sky in beautiful alignment, and Jeremy Node sent in a picture of it from his farm in Cordova. A couple of great eagle pics from our friend Pat ALLEGRO-SMITH. Stephanie Montrose of Chincoteague sent in these awesome photos from a seal watching tour off the coast of Lewis. And Michael Eager shared this stunning sunrise photo from the Indian River Inlet.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by North Bay Marina.
That's going to do it for us this week. Keep sending in those photos by emailing outdoors@wboc.com. Don't forget, the Outdoors Delmarva Expo is coming your way Saturday, April 22nd to the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington. It is free to attend, and we'd love to see you out there. Now, if you have a business on Delmarva that specializes in anything outdoors and you'd like to be involved, well, send us an email and we'll get you all the information. My name is Jason Lee, and until we meet again, I hope to see you outdoors, Delmarva.
You've been watching Outdoors Delmarva, which is presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And sponsored by Shorts Marine. Everything but the water.